Alright lads, so here we are once again for another episode of F1 2015 Career Mode. This episode will be live comp, so it's going to be something a little bit different to what you've seen in the previous ones. So hopefully we can get a much better result than what we had in Hungary, to be honest, because let's face it, we just weren't on the pace of that track. But Belgium, Spa, power track, Williams, good in a straight line. We've got a Mercedes power unit to use, of course. So it should be a much better round for us, this one, here in Spa.
Here we are then at the longest racetrack on the Formula One calendar. Welcome to the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for today's practice session. Spa is such a wonderful track and it's a circuit that the drivers love to race on. But it's also quite challenging, so we should expect to see a number of cars struggle to get up to speed here today.
Yes, there are many aspects to Spa that keep the drivers and teams thinking. Unpredictable weather, long straights and fast corners, as well as the rise in elevation up to Eau Rouge. All these make Spa one of the prize locations in the Formula One calendar.
What kind of setup will drivers be looking for around here? It's got a fair mixture of demanding corners. Is it all about finding the sweet spot in handling balance?
It's easy to make your car quick in a straight line, you just take all the downforce off. But when it comes to a track like this, you really need a bit more of a compromise. The main focus here is carrying speed through the fast-flowing corners, but you still don't want to be a sitting duck on the straight.
Oh my god, straightlinespeed.com, 300 and, come on, give me 60. 360 kilometers an hour, but I had to essentially cut the chicane there. I went in way too deep. I just wanted to hit 360. That was insane. It felt like as soon as we got to the top of our Rouge, we were just about there in terms of straight line. Engineer, I do not care. But yeah, as I said, it just felt like as soon as we got to the top of our Rouge, I literally thought we were about to hit the rev limiter. That's just how quick we were going. That was insane. That was our first lap though, prime tyres with about 10 laps worth of fuel. If we had slipstream option tyres and, you know, 3 laps worth of fuel, who knows how fast we could have gone there. I wasn't even using fast revs either. Oh my, wow. So there was much more potential to go quick. I am very interested to see what this Williams can do in a straight line. We could also take some front wing off as well. Put it down to 1-1 wings. The straight line speed we could unlock is almost limitless. I don't know, I'm sorry for harping on about the straight line speed so much, but this is just incredible. On F1 2014, I don't believe I ever hit the rev limiter, but I feel like today we definitely could. Oh, 49.5. Okay. That was only on primes too. Not bad. Not bad at all.
It's qualifying time at Spa, one of the mightiest tracks on the Formula One calendar. Long straights, up and downhill, Eau Rouge as well. This track isn't for the faint-hearted. Spa is always a difficult track to predict who will do well at, but after the last few years, it's been a mix of Red Bull, McLaren and Ferrari drivers that have excelled.
Well, Ferrari have had 16 wins here over the years, but today I'd probably give the advantage to Red Bull.
Really? Really, Anthony Davidson? Out of all the stupid things you've said on F1 2015 so far, that by far takes the cake. But welcome back to qualifying. This is going to be our one and only lap because, as you can tell, it's already raining, and whatever time we do now, we're going to have to live with here in qualifying. So coming through the final chicane, otherwise known as the bus stop, we're in P17 at the moment. A lot of the AI have already set a time. I wasted a little bit of time in getting to my fast lap, but we ended up in 4th place. The only person who managed to better us after this time was Lewis Hamilton, so we'll be starting from 5th place.
It's Sunday and that means it's race time here in Spa. As the cars are being prepared, let's join them trackside for the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. A wonderful performance from Sebastian Vettel yesterday sees the driver starting from P1 in today's race. A race that, of course, he'll be hoping he can go on and win.
It really was a great performance from him yesterday, and I think he'll be feeling very confident that he can push on and win today's race. Unless he has car trouble or a bit of bad luck, he should be untouchable.
The last race saw the best performance of the season for Kimi Räikkönen. The Finn will be hoping that he can find a similar performance today.
Kimi hasn't looked as comfortable in his second stint with Ferrari as he did in the first, but the last Grand Prix was a bit more like the Kimi of old. He needs to find that level of performance week in, week out though, if Ferrari are to compete for the top positions in the Constructors' Championship.
So here we are, on the grid of Spa, starting from 5th place. I've got to say, this moment, the first lap of Spa, is always my favourite part of the entire season. The run-up, Eau Rouge, and then the slipstreaming that goes on the start-finish straight. That's always my favourite moment of the entire season, but it's time to start this race. The Belgian Grand Prix, 2 stops, is what's on offer for today's race. There might be a little chance of rain as well, just to throw that into the mix. But here we go. The revs are building to those 5 red lights. Can we get a good start? That is the question. No is the answer. We are away for the Belgian Grand Prix, blazing into turn 1 now. We go up the inside of Raikkonen. Hamilton maintains position there in 3rd, with Rosberg leading from Vettel. Now, the first lap, as you guys know, this is all about straight line speed, getting a really nice run coming up to the top of Eau Rouge, and it's just really a matter of who has the least amount of downforce. That's going to determine who leads coming out of the first lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. Look at the sparks flying everywhere. Not only have we passed Hamilton, but we're going to pass everyone on this first DRS straight. Wow, going from 4th to 1st and leading this Grand Prix out of nowhere. Now you can see behind us Rosberg and Vettel still squabbling over 2nd place there. On board from Hamilton, you can see on the replay, he's trying to make a move on Vettel as we go up the straight for the first time. Now watching the mirrors, we just sailed past everyone. I had like a quadruple slipstream there, and that was just all of my Christmases coming at once. That was just incredible. Probably one of the best starts I've had to a Belgian Grand Prix. But either way, we are still on the first lap here, just showing you replays. This is now the 2 Mercedes cars battling as they come into the bus stop chicane. So obviously Rosberg has lost a spot to Vettel, and now these guys are fighting it out for the final spot on the podium. I'm really trying to encourage Hamilton and Rosberg to battle it out here, because that means me and Vettel can just pull away and just do what the hell we want. But coming into turn 1 for the first time on lap 2, and Vettel just completely gives up the spot there, runs wide, and I think he might have had an incident with someone. As you can see on the replay here, he gets spun out by Lewis Hamilton. So I'm not too sure who was at fault there. We need to have a look at this from the replay. He runs out wide, and then, I don't know, he sort of turns into the path of Hamilton there. He's turning in way too much. He's got so much space off to the left-hand side, and Hamilton doesn't really care either about where his car is going either. So, I don't know, really weird incident there. Hamilton seems to be getting involved in a lot of incidents in the last few races, but either way, lap 3, we've made a mistake coming into turn 1, and now Hamilton leads. So there's been, what, 3, 4 lead changes in the first 3 laps of this Grand Prix. It's incredible. But anyway, back to the action. We can see, oh, we made contact there with Lewis Hamilton. Such is the slipstream. It's just so powerful today. It's almost like iRacing. If you've ever tried the IndyCar Oval Series, where you just have to lift off at certain points in order to not make contact, that's a little bit what it's like at this race at the moment. But going around the outside of Rosberg, we hold on to the lead there. And I think we actually made contact going through Blanchimont. He stuck up his hand in frustration, but we were literally going 300 kilometers an hour. If I would have done that, or any normal person, it would have like blown your hand off. But anyway, we've made another mistake going into turn 1, lost the lead. We had to lift off going through Eau Rouge once again, just in order to not make contact. We go around the outside, slipstream, DRS, all those goodies that come with F1, and we take the lead back. And now the 2 Mercedes cars are once again battling it out for 2nd place. Lap 5 now, Lewis. Fantastic grip going around the outside of Pouon there, and he now takes the lead as the rain, as you can see, getting a little bit heavier now. So we have to think about when we're going to switch over to those intermediate tyres, but we can't think too much as we're still battling with Lewis trying to get the lead back. But it's getting increasingly difficult to stay with him as the rain was just getting heavier. I just felt like I just couldn't stay with him. I kept locking up into turn 1, or I'd go into a high-speed corner, I'd just understeer wide. Such was the grip loss so early on in this race. I had to switch on to intermediates just a little bit earlier than what I was anticipating. So onto the inters now, and hopefully this is the right strategy call. I expect the rest of the AI to come in on the next lap. And here we are on lap 6. I'm trying to search for the wet parts of the racetrack, just trying to keep my intermediates cool. We got the inside of Carlos Sainz there into Blanchimont. Had to shift down to 7th gear there. So, you know, the grip at the moment isn't really ideal for either tyre compound. So it's a very interesting phase of the race. You just got to limit your mistakes. Try and just keep it on the racetrack. Try and, I don't know, not drive at the full potential of what the tyre can give you. Just maybe drive at 80% and then you won't make any mistakes. So going up the inside of Maldonado there in a turn 1. I believe Hamilton came in on the previous lap and he has jumped us. So it looks like we've made the wrong strategy call. Only just though. It's a bit hard to tell when the right time is to switch to intermediate tyres or when to go from dries or intermediates to dries. At the moment it's just hard to pick up, you know, when the best time is. I'm sort of always getting outdone by the AI in that sense. But anyway, lap 7 we're going up the inside of Hulkenberg. These guys still haven't stopped yet. They're still circulating around on dry tyres. I don't believe this. And Hamilton is the next car in the queue. He's getting held up massively by all these cars on dry tyres on a wet track. We're going to try and go up the inside though. Hamilton is on dry tyres too. So we've just gained, what, 2 positions there as we go through the bus stop. Massa has completely just turned in on us coming into the bus stop chicane. Albeit he was turning in to go into the pits, but you don't turn in front of your teammate like that. Felipe, what were you thinking? It's just, it makes no sense to me. As you can see from the replay, I'm just going to show this from all angles. But I just know there's going to be some person in the comments who says that that's my fault for being there. But yeah, either way, as you can see, on the replay, Massa just goes so slowly. We're the only ones on intermediate tyres there, so we have so much more grip. But Massa, I just, once again, can't believe he's done that. On board from Hamilton, going up the inside of him too. He's on dry tyres. So Hamilton, on the previous lap, he came in, but he put on another set of options. So Hamilton is going to be way down the order once he comes in for his set of intermediate tyres. And now lap 8, everyone has come in for their stops, and Raikkonen has emerged in the lead of the Grand Prix. So he must have been one of the last cars to make their first stop, but he's just gone straight onto intermediate tyres, just like I did. But meanwhile, Hamilton making his way back through the field. He's into P3 now. Nazar, he was the best of the rest after myself and Raikkonen. So he's dropped down to 4th. Meanwhile, Nico Rosberg is also making some moves here. I believe he's overtaking Daniel Kvyat, and he moves up into P5. So both the Mercedes fared very badly after that first round of pit stops there. Meanwhile, Hamilton is coming in for a new set of tyres. It is the transition from dry to wet and then back to dry again was so quick. We're now back on dry tyres again, so that was literally only, what, 8 laps? But now lap 15, we're coming in for our set of dry tyres and we're going on to a set of options. It should only just about last until the end of the race. Meanwhile, I spotted a Red Bull that wasn't moving. I went to replay camera to see what was going on. Daniel Kvyat, once again, stuck in the pit lane. It seems like literally every race there's a car that gets stuck in the pits with that glitch. But either way, lap 18, we go purple. We're catching Raikkonen slowly, but then Lewis Hamilton goes up our inside and now he's battling with us. So it looks like Lewis, he's trying to get in on the party here for P2, and don't think from this stage onwards we're going to be able to catch Raikkonen simply because we're just battling with Hamilton. The battle continues now in lap 20 as we do a bit of a crisscross move there into the first corner. But once again, thanks to Slipstream DRS and a bit of Mercedes OP, Hamilton is going round the outside into this middle sector chicane. He gets a spot back in a P2, but we're going to try and outsmart him here. Maybe go the inside into this little right-hander here, which is notorious for giving you understeer. But we got the inside front lockup, and still we go side by side with Hamilton. This is turning into a fantastic battle here for second place. I don't know how we didn't make contact there, but somehow we didn't. Now going, oh wow, we've been in lean the whole time. No wonder Hamilton was a bit OP on this lap in particular. Having to look after my fuel just ever so slightly, but having to put it up into fast just to stay with Hamilton. The only thing that's keeping me in this battle here is the slipstream and DRS. Otherwise, Hamilton would have been way up the road, just like he was in Hungary in the previous episode. But going up the inside is Hamilton once again through Pouon. He seems to be very good through this corner and getting a really good exit off the previous one. But again, we still maintain P2 only just. This is turning into one of the battles of the season here with Hamilton. Is he? Yes, he's still there. Holy crap, this is just, I don't know, I can't keep up with this battle. There's just so much happening in a short space of time. Only one more lap to go after this. Putting it up into fast, we're going to try and use the slipstream once again. You'll see a bit of a comparison between us and the Mercedes car. We are running with less downforce, but still, Lewis is able to keep us behind him fairly well for the most part, despite not having DRS or slipstream himself. But we go, oh, that was so close. We tried to go around the outside, but I spotted the gap. I knew it was going to close. I just had to brake early. Otherwise, that would have been an almighty crash. But now we have DRS, bit of slipstream now as we enter the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. Let me know in the comments, who do you think is going to win this race out of us two? Us or Hamilton? Obviously, we're not going to win the race now. Like, Kimi Räikkönen is like, what, 20 seconds up the road? No chance we're going to catch him. But still, we have every chance of catching Hamilton and passing him here for second place. We're going to use everything that we can to try and get past him. Rich revs, DRS, slipstream, anything. Look at us. The closing speed is so great on Hamilton that he's just got nothing to defend with. We move into P2, and with only, what, 2 more sectors to go in this race, I think Hamilton's chances are running out here. This is the corner that Hamilton gets really good drive off of. And look at him, he's going to go up the inside into Pouon. Oh, I don't know, my tyres are really starting to fade now. But Hamilton, what the hell are you doing? He got in front of us at Pouon, and then he just completely jumped on the brakes. I don't understand what his reasoning is behind that. I don't know, trying to knock off my front wing, and I don't know, he's been playing a little bit dirty the last few rounds. If you remember, back in Hungary, he tried to disturb me on one of my qualifying laps. But Lewis, he's been driving so dirty the last few races, but I don't know. I'll have to talk about that later, but either way, coming through the final sequence of corners, we absolutely made a meal of the final bus stop chicane. But coming across the line, we have finished in second place for the Belgian Grand Prix.
That's another trophy to add to Kimi Räikkönen's already full cabinet. A race win for the Finnish driver in today's race.
So there we go, lads. The Belgian Grand Prix. Very interesting race in the end there. The start was absolutely fantastic. Getting into the lead. Unfortunately, we switched on to the intermediate tyres way too early, and then Räikkönen just played his hand beautifully with his pit strategy. And then from then on to the end of the race, he was very consistent. I just wasn't able to catch him. And then with Hamilton coming back through the field and battling with him, that allowed Räikkönen to get a much bigger lead than what I anticipated. But that's been the Belgian Grand Prix. Leave a like if you enjoyed. 2k likes, and the next episode will go out tomorrow as usual. So that's going to do this video for today. Until my next one, guys, I'll see you next time.